What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Try Time Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Callum, and this is the top 10 standoffs in Super League. Now, as I'm sure you've seen, if not, go check them out. We have done all of the other positions apart from standoff and scrum half. So scrum half will be coming in the coming weeks. But for now, we've got the standoffs. Before we get into it, we have got our sort of subscriber competition going on now. So please subscribe. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away a shirt of your choice. So yeah, you could win it. So yeah, get involved. And yeah, let's get straight into it with number 10, which I've gone Ollie Russell. Now, it's an interesting one, is Russell, because obviously he's at Huddersfield at the minute, signed for Wakefield, already announced for next season. Questionable whether he's sort of a 6 or a 7. It's hard because he's got sort of a high up sort of squad number and he kind of plays both. I've sort of put him into the 6 category. Same as Lowell here would have been available for this, but I think Russell's better. Yeah, I think Russell's really underrated as a young sort of player. Good kicking game, sort of good all-round game. I think it'll be really interesting seeing how he gets on at Wakey next year, probably giving more of a prominent role, and it'll be in Super League as well. So, yeah, he definitely is one that can rise up this list in the coming years. Number 9, we've got an interesting player. We've got Jaden Nikorima. Obviously, the whole debacle at Catalans. He's now at Salford. And yeah, I think he's solid. He's not really set the world alight since he's come over to Super League. But I think you can tell there's a player in there. And I think if he gets his head sorted out and gets sort of a coach like Paul Rowley who can really sort of get his head down and get him playing, I think he'll be great. Number 8, we've got one of my favourites, and it's Rowan Milnes. Obviously, I love him from his time at Bradford, but I think he really goes under the radar. Like, he's sort of ever-present almost for Castleford at the minute. Plays every week. Has a good partnership. You know, they're quietly doing well at Castleford at the minute, and I think Milnes is a big part of that. I think he offers a lot of stability in there. Obviously, still only a young lad himself. Good kicking game. Good all-round sort of standoff play. And yeah, I think he really goes under the radar, to be fair, and just had to be on this list. Number 7... Hull KR fans will hate me. We have got Tyrone May. Now, I think the thing with May is he's just not as good as I think he was in the NRL necessarily. I just don't know if he's what it is. He can be quite a frustrating watch. As a neutral, this is obviously, he has moments of brilliance. He's still on this list at 7. That's not bad by any means. But I don't think he's quite as good as he could be or has shown in the past. But yeah, I mean, Hull KR at the time of recording are top of the league, so can't have many complaints, I guess. But that is definitely one of a weak spot that I think within that team. There's not many. I think that potentially is one. Number 6, we've got Cade Cuss, another Salford standoff, I guess. I just think he's great. I think sort of a bit underappreciated at Wigan. Obviously, that team was so strong, so it was always going to happen. And yeah, I think that Salford has really sort of found his place. I think that Salford as a whole, really good environment for him. And yeah, he's really kicked on. It must make it so much easier that he plays with a 7 like Sneed, who's arguably the best in the league. You'll have to keep an eye out for that video to see where he lands. But yeah, I think Cuss lucky to have that, and I think it really allows him to play his game naturally as well. Number 5, we've got Matt Moylan. Now, obviously, I know he's played some fullback, some half, but he's signed to play 6 and has predominantly played 6. And yeah, I think it's interesting. Me and Matt got a lot of stick when we sort of said, you don't know how good Moylan's going to be yet. He might not, we've seen overseas imports do rubbish and you don't know how good he's going to be. I think he's landed somewhere in the middle. He's not really set, the league alight, as Lee haven't really been as good as they were last year due to a lot of injury issues and stuff like that as well. But I don't think Moylan's been sort of as good as Lee fans maybe expected or people expected. He's a big name, is Matt Moylan, from the NRL throughout the years. And yet he's still been good. He's still been a solid addition to their team, but he's not been like, what I would call top 4 quality, I guess. And that takes me on to number 4, which is someone who's probably not been at the best this season, but I think it's got to be this high up. It's Johnny Lomax. Again, under the radar. When you think of Saints, you think of your Wellesbys and your players like that, and you don't necessarily think of Lomax, who I think has just been steady over this run of 4 in a row that they had. I think he was great, and I think it's hard to really drop him too much lower than this because of that. And when he has been fit and played this season again, he has still been solid. So yeah, I think Lomax has got to be on here. Very underrated player, I think. Number 3, we've got Brodie Croft. Now, I know he's not been probably as good for Leeds this year as he has been for Salford in the past, but he's still been really good. Probably Leeds' best player. And, I know Leeds haven't had the best season, but still, I think he's been really good. A good bright spark within that season. Yeah, we know what he can do. He's got a great running game. he's struggling maybe because he's working off a 7 who's not as good. You know, he's not working with Sneed, who'll do all kicking game for him. For all he's been a bit subpar, maybe Wycroft hasn't shone as much, but I still think there's been glimpses, and, you know, the brilliance that he's got is for everyone to see. An obvious top 2, I think, now. Number 2, I've gone George Williams. He's not quite got number 1. I think George Williams is great. Again, I think he gets disrespected by a lot of Super League / England fans. I think he's great. He's one of the best halfbacks that England has produced in God knows how long. Like, he's great. And yeah, and he was a success down under, came back, and for Warrington he's great, and he's a big part of how good they are doing this season. Yeah, I don't know how people don't like him. I don't think he's good. He's running games, some of the best in the league. He's got a good kicking game. He's everything you want, really, and also that sort of good, like, captain sort of material player. And yeah, Williams had to be on here. And number 1, of course, it's Bevan French. Everyone gave me absolute load of stick when I didn't include him on the fullback video, even though I included in the rules. You know, a player can only be on one of these videos, and French predominantly is the 6. Yes, he probably would be the 3rd best fullback, playing fullback, as Moylan would probably have made that list as well, playing fullback. But predominantly standoff, and French is great. Man of Steel last year for a reason, let's be honest. There's not much I could say. He's great. You know, he's great try scoring 6. He scored the most tries out of all these players this season. And yeah, I think he's great. We all know French is great. And yeah, he's probably Wigan's best player. Is that bad to say? I don't think it is. I think he is probably Wigan's best player. But yeah, there we go. Let me know, guys, what you think. Who've I missed off? Who's in the wrong spot? And yeah, let me know down below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.